Hey, I wanted to record a quick video talking about how to make uh, your own scented soap out of existing hard soap pucks that are out there on the market today. Please check the description, because if I have made a better video where I actually showed it to you as I was doing it, then I will post a link in my description so that you can head to that one and have more real world examples. But I just wanted to throw this one up there because I don't know when I'm going to get around to making the other one. And here's the concept. You get a soap like Arko or Williams mug soap, and you break them down so that you can soak them in an aftershave of your choice, like an alcohol-based aftershave. And then what you end up with is basically a puck of a good quality lathering soap, which is the ones I just mentioned, but that have a scent that you prefer a little bit better than the kind of the soapy scents or the lemony scent of the Arko. And so you end up with a container of a great performing soap that smells good for a pretty low price. That's the goal here. So how do we do that? Well, here's the ingredients. Me and a Sharpie got together, and this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some kind of tub. It's possible you could do it in a mug or a cup or a small bowl or a ramekin, as long as it's kind of a ramekin on the large size. Unless you're doing a partial stick, you could only grate half of a stick or half of a puck of Williams. But here is the typical tub that a lot of shaving soaps come in. This is something from like Avon Skin So Soft, so this is not a soap, but this is the exact same tub that is used by a lot of makers. And so it's possible something like this is on hand for you if you have recently used up a tub of soap and you have one on hand. You can also order these off Amazon or for a couple bucks from Maggard Razors. There's ones that have already been used, like they filled samples with them, and then they're going to sell those empty tubs instead of just throwing them away, which is pretty cool, kind of a recycling effort. But you can also buy the empty ones as well, like from Sterling Soaps and other places. But this is kind of the general idea. So that's what I mean by tub. And you'll need the soap, Arko, Williams, something hard. It's got to be hard. The aftershave product. And we're talking maybe Stetson or Adidas Pulse, any of those Walmart aftershave colognes. Obviously you could do an expensive cologne if you wanted to, but if it's pricey, then there's probably a soap out there that smells like it anyway. Okay, and so generally when you do this, it's just for scientific fun, or it's to save money, because then you get something that smells good with a soap that performs well for the grand cost of I think most of those aftershaves are on the order of $7, $6 at Walmart, plus $1.50. So to pay for the soap puck or the soap stick, and that's your cost for having a good soap that'll last you a few months. Okay, so whether it's Old Spice or Aqua Velva or Brut or any of those aftershave products, you can use any of those. And then you need an actual stick. In today's example, I'm going to use a toothbrush just to have a visual aid, but some kind of stir stick to stir the soap alcohol mixture. Okay, then in the early part of the process, you'll need some paper plates. Okay, so those are the items you'll need to have to do this. Let's talk about the shape of the tub. Notice that this Cella container has around a curvy bottom. Well, if you've got a hard puck of a hard soap that's going to kind of shrink sometimes when the moisture leaves it, having a curvy bottom is not a good idea. I actually did this in a kind of a cappuccino, a large style mug that had a curvy bottom, and it all hardened, shrank just a little bit, and it was really hard to lather because the soap puck kept moving around. So that's why I drew this, because we want to have, you can have curvy corners as long as they're small curves. It's mostly flat with the walls here, just very much like, something like this. Because you don't want that puck to be able to swing around in the container, because that makes it really hard to load up a good lather with it. All right, so first thing you do. Oh, you'll also need a cheese grater, of course, because that's the first step. You take your Arko or your Williams. Derby has a Derby soap stick that might work as well, but I've done both Arko and Williams. You take a cheese grater. You take the normal cheese grating side, not the little small one, but just the normal one that does kind of normal, shreds about yay long and about, that thick or so. And you just shred up however much soap you want to use. First time I tried it with Williams, I shredded up the whole puck. I did it with Arko once, and I shredded up the whole stick. You can also just do half a stick. So shred it, and if you do a lot, then you might need 2 paper plates. And you take the shavings, and you just kind of let them air out a little bit, because Williams has a strong citronella flavor, citronella scent at first, and Arko has a strong industrial lemon kind of scent that could get in the way of whatever aftershave you're going to throw in there. Okay, so take those paper plates with your soap shavings loosely sitting in the plates. Set them somewhere. Arko was so strong, I let it sit for 2 weeks. Williams wasn't as strong. I think that one was just maybe 4 days, something like that. But that's your preference, whatever you want to do. Just set those somewhere and kind of let them air out. Get that existing scent out to some degree. Then you take your container, your mug, your tub like this, old soap tub or whatever, and then you take all those gratings and put them in to the tub. And then you take your aftershave, whatever you've chosen, pour it in. It'll be very soupy, liquidy. Of course, it'll be very strong smelling. You may have to push your gratings down just a little bit just to get them to fit in the container, but try not to push them down too much. And then you've got so now you've poured in the aftershave. I tried half a stick of Arko with half a bottle of Ice Blue Aqua Velva, and the scent wasn't strong enough for me, and I ended up not using it. It performed great, just like because it's Arko, but the scent wasn't strong enough. If I had to do all that over again, I would use the whole bottle of the Aqua Velva. But again, if you want something mildly scented, then you can adjust the strength by how much AS you put in there. So you've got your shreds of soap. It's like soap soup, and it's in and amongst the aftershave that's in there. Put it aside for a day. Come back later, next day, with your stir stick, popsicle stick, whatever, and just give it a stir. And you'll see it change with each day. It'll get different. And at first it'll be really soupy and loose. Just give it a stir. Maybe stir it 3 times a day. Kind of the more the better. But what we're doing, and this is important, is that a lot of that aftershave is alcohol. And alcohol kills lathers. And so one of the steps, one of the goals is to let that alcohol evaporate. And so that's what we're doing with the stirring, because the alcohol will evaporate from the top part, but then the stirring will help you to expose some of the lower parts of the soap to the alcohol. And it'll be, it will get to kind of resemble cottage cheese at some point, but every day go in and stir it, and then at some point it'll be hard to stir. Okay, and then mix it around, still. Stir it as best you can. Even use more like a folding method where you're scooping it and placing it on top of other sections, that sort of thing. When it starts to get really hard, we now know that a lot of the alcohol is already gone, and you're about ready to quit. And so what happens is, when you feel like you've gotten most of the alcohol out, you start to press. The little stick goes away. And so you start to press down and flatten the top of your mixture, because it's no longer soupy at all. It's actually pretty hard in many respects. Press down, try to get a nice flat top. Come back the next day, do the same thing. You might be able to press down some more, because a little bit of the alcohol would have evaporated still. Okay, and so then when it's really hard to press, you're pretty much done, and you're good to go. You can put the cap on it if it's a tub that comes with a cap. If it's an open ramekin or bowl or something else like that, an Old Spice, a vintage Old Spice mug, then you may not need a cover at all. But there you go. From that point on, you now have a scented soap kind of your own making. And there's some threads online where if you use Stetson and Williams mug soap, they call that a Cowboy Willie, something like that. And there are names for all the different, let's see, what are they? Cold Willie, Cool Willie, or Blue Willie for the Aqua Velva Blue. And so there you go. Mine was too curved, like I said, because I put it in a curved mug, and that was a mistake. But you know where it is right now? It's in the shower, and I enjoy it not shaving in the shower, but just using it as a body soap. And the scent is still that. I did it with Adidas Dynamic Pulse because that was at Walmart. It smelled good, and it worked really well. And that is a very nice deodorant soap in my shower right now. But obviously, if you're doing this, you're going to try to get it to be a shave soap, and I feel like you can. Let it sit for a little while, stir it a couple times a day, and when it gets really hard, you know you're done. Press down, and you're good to go. And the performance will be terrific. Just like Arko and Williams are great performing soaps, you'll be able to have really good performance with those nice scents that you have. So Cowboy Willie, Blue Willie, you can look up those online. I think Badger and Blade is the forum that had those, and I think it was a competition or something or just a joint effort where everybody made their own, and then for that month or that week or whatever, shaved with it. You know, pretty cool. So there we go. There was a user just recently that asked a question about that, so I thought I'd go ahead and jump online and throw up a video. And like I said, check the links. Check the description. If there's one where I'm showing you live examples, then I'll put it there. All right, well, hope this answers your question, gives you some idea about how to do it. Like I said, you know, $8, $8.50 is all it takes to kind of make your own shaving soap. I got about 60 uses out of a puck of Williams myself, so that's what you can maybe expect to get. I think Arko may go a little further. But that's about, it might be 3 months, whereas Williams was the 2 months. Wonderful performing soap. To have the Arko without that industrial lemony type scent is tremendous. You can believe next time I do Arko, and I will, it's going to be with a much more potent amount of the aftershave. So, all right, I've got a spare bottle of Stetson around, and so I think I'll probably do that one just for fun. All right. So there, I hope this is helpful to you. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care.